Hello, everybody. This is another video in the series, How to Make Your Prayer Groups More Effective. And it's called How Are Cookies Evangelistic? And the Importance of Hospitality. So let's have some fun with this one. What does a typical prayer meeting look like first so we can understand where the cookies come in? So before the prayer meeting, a lot of groups will say the rosary to intercede. And then the prayer meeting itself takes about 90 minutes. There's certainly we welcome everybody. We explain what a prayer meeting is to people. Then we do the praise and worship, which is the bulk of the meeting, 45 to 60 minutes typically. Then there's usually a teaching or a testimony. There could be time for faith sharing and praise reports. There's also a time usually for intercessory prayer and for petitions and people to pray for. And then there's a closing prayer and song at the end. Then after the meeting, this is what we're talking about. Some groups have prayer teams to pray over people. And also, this topic is on hospitality and fellowship time. So let's talk about that. This hospitality and fellowship time after a prayer meeting is a great time to get to know each other personally. There's always new people that are coming, and so they're trying to decide if they feel comfortable being around this new group of people. So it's important to have some time we can get to know them. Chatting over refreshments puts them at ease. It doesn't really matter what we have, obviously, whether it's cookies, crackers, cupcakes, cake, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just an excuse to gather after the meeting and not just run out the door. So basically, also what happens at hospitality and fellowship time is you get the prayer family connection. People start feeling part of a family. It's our prayer group, our prayer family, as people get to know each other. So how are cookies evangelistic? Well, we get to know each other. We get to share backgrounds, families, locations, where we've lived, our jobs, what do we do. I know it's typical to just to get to know them. Hey, well, how's your family? Are you married? Kids, grandkids? Where are you from? Did you move here? All those sort of things are part of just getting to know each other. Also, during the hospitality time, we can share upcoming events and invite others to it. Also, what's happening in our lives. Again, this is the time, and may only be 10 or 15 minutes, if that long, where we share what's happening in our lives, what's happening in their lives, getting to know them personally. We could also make arrangements to get together with others outside the prayer meeting to continue to develop those relationships. We also, this is a great time also to share our own stories of faith or personal testimonies, how the Lord has acted in our lives. And you just have to get a feel for that as you talk to people during this fellowship time. Also, it helps people in the groups develop stronger relationships. So now let's talk about it. I call this a tale of two groups. Well, one group has no hospitality or fellowship time. And after the prayer meeting, people literally run out the door. And I've seen this especially during the COVID time where we went and joined some new groups. And when the meeting was over, they said, okay, the meeting's over. It was like we were wanted to go meet people, and the regulars just literally scattered and they ran out the door. And it was like we couldn't meet anybody. They were not doing hospitality or fellowship. Apparently at the time they weren't allowed to have any kind of cookies or drinks or anything like that, but no one stuck around, so we didn't get to meet people. People don't get to know each other if you don't have a hospitality time. They don't develop a sense of family and community, and people are not likely to help the group with its mission. That's one of the reasons why you want them to feel part of the family and the group, because the group has a purpose and a mission, and you want people to use their gifts to help the group carry out its mission. So there's another type of group, a group that does have hospitality and fellowship. That's where people congregate afterwards and they hang around, they chat and they get to know one another. They share how the Lord's working in their lives. They ask for prayers where needed. We can pray for each other during the fellowship time, develop relationships. And if this is going really well, and I've seen this happen, you have to kick people out to leave. I was actually saw one group that started out not doing this, and people would scatter. And we decided it's important part of our ministry to have an excuse for fellowship. It didn't matter what kind of cookies. I always tell people just bring something. and it's just an excuse to gather. And people would then started gathering, then started to get to know each other, then started remembering each other's names, and it developed a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and people wanted to help with the mission. So that's how cookies are evangelistic. So what's next? Well, let's take turns bringing some cookies to your prayer meeting for fellowship time. And if you're a health conscious group, bring lettuce wraps or carrot sticks. Obviously, having fun with that one, but whatever works for your group, it really doesn't matter what it is. Just bring something as an excuse to gather together afterwards. Sure, some drinks would help too. And then share the love of Jesus with others. Amen. All right. So start having some fellowship time if you don't do that, and watch your group grow together as a prayer family. God bless you all.